They used to call him Bucket, like it was funny. Just a quiet black janitor limping around the SEAL training compound, pushing his mop through puddles of sweat these hotshot recruits left behind. Most of them never even looked him in the eye. Some made jokes when they thought he couldn't hear. And the loudest was this kid named Travis Riley, blonde, cocky, looked like he came straight out of a military recruitment poster. He loved to call out, "Hey Bucket, missed a spot," with a grin that said he thought he ran the place. Thing is, Darnell Bryant never flinched, never raised his voice, never cracked. He'd just nod, glide his mop across the floor, and keep moving like none of it mattered. But the truth is, every step he took, every breath, carried something heavier than a mop handle. Something none of those kids could have handled for 5 minutes. I used to be one of them. Thought I had the world figured out. First time I saw him, I thought he was just another civilian contract hire. A relic from a time gone by. Didn't take me long to realize I was dead wrong. There was this one night, I stayed late in the gym, working on my endurance drills. Everyone else had cleared out, but I saw him in the locker room, kneeling by a small metal box he kept stashed behind a stack of towels. He didn't know I was there. I saw him open it, real gentle, like he was afraid to disturb what was inside. There was a folded flag, some medals I didn't recognize, and a worn photograph of a group of men in desert gear. He stared at that picture like it was breathing, whispered a few names I couldn't hear, then closed the box, locked it, and went back to scrubbing showers. Next morning, I asked Captain Vega, our head PT instructor, about him. She gave me this look, long and cautious, then said, "Bryant's not a janitor. Not really. He's something else. Just don't push him." But I did. A week later, I saw the tattoo. He was fixing a treadmill, bent over, and his collar slipped. It wasn't some cheap ink. It was a SEAL trident, detailed, aged into his skin like it had always been part of him. Below it, a small serial number. That night, curiosity got the better of me. I borrowed a keycard, snuck into records. What I found didn't make sense. His file was mostly blacked out, redacted like something out of a spy movie. All I could make out was his name, Darnell Bryant. Lieutenant Commander. SEAL Team Echo. Status: MIA, Kandahar, 2009. I thought it was a mistake, until Chief Norris, one of our oldest instructors, walked past him in the hallway a few days later and dropped his coffee when he saw the tattoo. Looked like he saw a ghost. Said just one word under his breath: Phantom. Turned out, that was his call sign. Phantom, leader of the most secretive SEAL unit the Navy ever formed. They did the missions nobody talked about. The ones with no records, no medals, no funerals. When the story got out, the mood on base changed. Recruits who used to laugh when he walked by started nodding in silence. Someone left a protein bar on his cart. Another left a fresh pair of boots. Riley? He didn't say a word for days. But Darnell, he didn't act like a hero. Still mopped floors. Still fixed machines. Still limped through the gym like he had nothing left to prove. Because maybe he didn't. Maybe he had already done more than any of us could dream. Then came Briggs. Richard Briggs, former SEAL turned private contractor, showed up one night during a training lecture, swaggering like he owned the place. Called out, "So this is what the Phantom's become? Teaching mop lessons to kids who can't do 5 pull-ups." I saw Bryant's eyes harden for the first time. Didn't say a word, but the whole room felt colder. Briggs tried to push him, even waved around a photo from Kandahar like it was some kind of weapon. Claimed Bryant froze during a mission. Said he cost men their lives. But Captain Vega and I had already been digging. What we found: Briggs had tampered with the mission data, altered coordinates, sabotaged the extraction, all because he was trying to cover up his side deals with Afghan warlords. A bunch of SEALs died that day, including Bryant's own son. Yeah, his son. We took that proof to command. Briggs was arrested on the spot. Later that week, in a private ceremony, Darnell's name was cleared. He was given the Distinguished Service Cross. No press. Just us. The ones who had finally learned to see him. But he didn't come back to lead missions. He came back to train hearts. He started Phantom Doctrine, a mentorship program for SEAL candidates who failed not because of their bodies, but because of their minds. PTSD, anxiety, trauma, fear. Things the military never knew how to teach through. I was his first assistant. He taught us how to stay calm when you can't breathe, how to read a room without moving your head, how to lead without shouting, how to carry pain and not let it poison you. And more than anything, he taught us that dignity isn't worn on a uniform. It's carried in silence. A few months in, a storm hit. Real bad. Dam upstream was failing. Town downstream had families, kids, no power. Emergency services were overwhelmed. Command said we could stand down. Darnell didn't. He looked at us and said, "This isn't a test anymore. This is the real thing. You in?" Every single one of us stepped forward. We spent 18 hours pulling folks from rising water, setting up triage points, improvising rescue routes. At one point, a barn roof collapsed, and Darnell dove to shield a boy with his own body. Broke his leg in 3 places. That boy, his grandson, the same one he'd never met until a few weeks prior, when his estranged daughter showed up after seeing his name in a training article. He saved that kid without a second thought. Like muscle memory. Like redemption. When the news picked up the story, they tried to turn him into a headline. But he shut it down. Said, "Heroes don't do it for the camera. They do it so there's still something worth filming." That line, it stuck with me. Today, Phantom Doctrine is in 3 states. I run the West Coast Division. Darnell still visits occasionally, usually with his grandson, teaching him how to fix machines, how to breathe through chaos, how to live. His mop? It hangs in a glass case in the hall now, right next to his old trident. So next time you pass someone you think is invisible, someone you think doesn't matter, take a second look. Because some men don't wear their rank on their sleeve. Some carry it in silence. And some, like Darnell Bryant, leave legacies that echo long after the last floor's been cleaned. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever met someone whose past was bigger than their present? Do you think true leadership has to be loud, or does real strength come in silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about what it really means to serve, to lead, and to live with honor. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true stories that remind us greatness often hides in plain sight. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story on Store of Good Stories. If this story touched your heart or made you think, don't forget to hit like and share the video to spread this positive message to more people. And if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the meaningful stories we share every week. Your support is the biggest motivation for Store of Good Stories to keep bringing heartfelt and valuable stories to you. See you in the next video.